songwriters, lyric writers, artists, I've talked in the past about how a cliche lyric can be one word tweak away from being really compelling and interesting. I'm going to talk about that, but I also want to talk about how a lyric that might seem really stupid can actually, if you back up with context, might not be as bad as you think. So I had a student who had put the phrase drowning in your sorrows in a lyric, and I just said, yeah, that's kind of a cliche phrase. So I was just trying to, for example, in the moment, and literally the only word that my brain would allow me to come up with to rhyme with drowning was clowning. So I was like, okay, this is a horrible example, but like you would take drowning in your sorrows and instead say clowning in your sorrows. I was like, no, that is terrible. Why would you ever put clowning in your sorrows in anything? And then I said, but actually, now let's think about how could you justify the meaning of that phrase? What if you're talking about somebody who is so unable to process their sadness or hard feelings that they goof off all the time, that they hide behind humor, that they can never face grief, that they are always goofing off and clowning around, clowning in your sorrows. Now, I'm not saying that I would ever actually put clowning in your sorrows in a song, but it just goes to show that something that may seem like a weird ass lyric potentially could be justified, and it might end up being a compelling lyric. And I'm not saying that somebody out there isn't gifted enough to actually put the phrase clowning in your sorrows in a song and sell it. I am positive somebody out there could. I am not planning on slipping that in to a lyric anytime soon. I'm not saying I won't, but I have no plans to. But I just thought it made a powerful example of how, number one, we don't have to settle for cliches. Number two, if you put it in a compelling enough context, weird ass lyrics can actually seem really brilliant and profound. Again, I'm not saying that clowning in your sorrows qualifies.